Harry and Meghan should come with a warning label. Caution, contents under pressure. This brand contains 25% fake royals, 32% staged publicity stunts, and 43% artificial ingredients.
Being here, and what has been echoed so much really in the past day, we weren't surprised when we found out when you were a Nigerian. Oh, no.
The California couple took a trip to a 3-day cash grab in Nigeria, where you had Meghan skip Mother's Day but brag about loving her kids. She then changed clothes more times than a Kardashian at a Botox convention, flashed some skin at a religious private school, and gave speeches every single time she was thinking that she wasn't getting enough attention.
I feel like the focus is starting to shift off of me. Maybe in editing you'll fix it.
Meanwhile, Archewell sparked some news and Spare lost every single category in the 2024 British Book Awards. And that happened just as Harry posed for his personal paparazzi and pretended to inspect the troops. But the good news is that the Meghans were forced to stand for God Save the King. Talk about a karmic kick in the teeth. What's going on, everybody? The Worldwide Privacy Tour launched the next chapter in the lives of the problem prince and the unemployed actors. I mean, the couple literally turned a promotional event for the Invictus Games in West Africa into the We Have Titles 2 campaign. You had Meghan on one side calling Nigeria her motherland. So Harry joined in greeting the country as his new in-laws.
In-laws. I'll skip the protocol because at this point we're all family.
Did anyone happen to notice how the mainstream media suddenly shifted gears? I mean, it happened overnight where they started singing the pair's praises like they were afraid of blowback if they told the truth. But for all those who followed the facts on the ground and listened to Nigerian media, they learned pretty quickly that not too many citizens were too happy to pick up the tab for the couple's vanity voyage.
If Harry visits Nigeria today or tomorrow, what effect does it have in our economy? Harry is coming and Nigeria is going to spend billions. Look, Nigerians are dying. Everybody is frustrated over economic hardship and is a wasting of resources.
Harry and Meghan seem to be so in love with the legends in their own minds that I gotta say, if they were ice cream, they'd eat themselves. At this point, it's obvious that their 72-hour Commonwealth cash grab underscored just what kind of people they are and how they act in public. Rude on every count.
Prince Harry now inspects the courtyard.
Harry pretended to still represent the crown by holding a mock inspection of the troops, even though you had Richard Montgomery, the British High Commissioner, state in no uncertain terms that neither of the couple represented the UK. Still, playtime wasn't over. Harry, who thinks of himself as like a mental health messiah, held a class for kids where he wanted to teach them how they could be as mentally fit as he is. I mean, after all, nothing says emotional stability like a guy who used to reminisce about the cream his mother used on her lips while he applied it to his frostbitten toddler.
Every single person in this room, the youngest, the oldest, every single person has mental health. You can have it. She can have it, I can have it, they can have it. Every single one of us is likely to have it on any given day. And the more you talk about it, the more you can kick the stigma away, far, far away, into the long grass.
Wow, that's a great idea, man. Hey, you're one of those idea men, aren't you, man?
You see why I'm married to him? He's so smart.
Never one to be outdone, Meghan left her own unique mark on the occasion. She dressed like she was going to the Met Gala event she wasn't invited to, flashing some skin in a Muslim-majority country at a religious private school for kids, only to be caught turning her back on a student while she was searching for more cameras. If that didn't rise to Harry's level, it's only because Meghan was preoccupied, obliterating her carefully constructed image, the one that she had built for years in the press, stating she was too afraid to ever to return to the UK unless the government provided her security. Then boom. In one fell swoop, she shattered that narrative to smithereens, all because she happily embraced a mob as she was trying to force a little girl to pose for a picture. Still, nothing is more revealing than the pair's long history of how poorly they treated their families, from trashing them in interviews to slinging mud at them in books to planting landmines in the papers, also they could cash in a few victim points in the press. But nothing more says how bad they are than when they were flying into Abuja at Heathrow. When you had Meghan, she didn't miss the opportunity to not only insult the UK, but the royal family.
When I read that she stepped foot into the UK, but only into the Windsor suite of Heathrow Airport, which is reserved just for royals, which she technically isn't, wouldn't even step outside of the Windsor suite at Heathrow to come and meet Harry in London.
It's very insulting to us, and I think that she doesn't mind that. In fact, she didn't come for the coronation either.
Harry and Meghan seem incapable of not repeating the same mistakes over and over again. It's just like New York and Germany, Jamaica and Las Vegas, the Bahamas and the Caribbean, Portugal, and now Nigeria is no different. Once more, you have the California couple leave the kids behind with their rescue chickens. Actions speak louder than words, and nothing shouts arrogance more than a wannabe demanding the nearest microphone. Also, she could refocus the attention on her as she's about to brag about loving her kids after skipping Mother's Day all to cosplay in West Africa.
I'm very, very grateful. I'm very humbled. And today's Mother's Day. So it feels appropriate that though, of course, we are missing our children, I'm missing my babies, it feels very appropriate to be on the motherland and amongst family. So thank you so much for the kindness and for these beautiful names.
However, the coup de grace when Meghan flipped the moment on its head to tell a story about her children. Meghan said, no, every parent does that. No big deal. Right, every mom and dad does that. But how many parents actually turn that moment into a shameless self-promotion plug where they're raving about how much their kids worship him as the second coming?
So our daughter Lily, she's much, much tinier than you guys. A few weeks ago, she looked at me and she could just see the reflection in my eyes and she goes, Mama, I see me in you. Now she was talking really literally, but I hung on to those words in a very different way and I thought, yes, I do see me in you and you see me in you, but as I look around this room, I see myself in all of you.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Despite the mainstream media turning lapdog, this trip was anything but an actual success. And quite a few people were more than happy to burst Meghan's bubble and her 43% delusions on what it truly means to be a Nigerian woman.
For example, if a Nigerian girl were lucky enough or whatever, marry into the royal family, I think she would know what to do. I think she would have respected her in-laws because that's the way we were cultured. And before, a Nigerian woman would have earned the queen's love and respect that she would start cooking jollof rice within the royal families.
Funny enough, Harry and Meghan announced that this was only the first trip of many upcoming fake tours where they're going to try to grab some headlines, try to upstage the royal family, and trade their titles for some cash and gifts. It just happened that before the couple could plan their next vacation, the state of California put Walmart Wallace and her wallet on notice. Harry and Meghan's Archewell Foundation is banned from raising or spending money after it is deemed delinquent for failing to pay fees and submit records. Now, that was the original story. Archewell Foundation indeed was put on notice in January by California's Registry of Charities and Fundraisers. But then you flash forward to May 3rd, the foundation was actually banned from raising or spending money. Then in comes in the dollar store Duke and his Duchess to make their excuses, like they filed an extension, it's the government's fault, the check is in the mail, the dog ate my homework. Then out of the blue, California's governor came in for the rescue.
Archewell Foundation, run by Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And I just want folks to know, not only are they in compliance, it was a technical paperwork issue. It was a very typical technical issue around paperwork that persists for so many others as well.
Governor Newsom threw that press conference together so fast, I'm shocked the man didn't get whiplash. But he realized if he hadn't made excuses for the couple, they'd actually be forced to cut back on their private jet trips. Meghan couldn't afford to copy Princess Diana and dress like her, all to feed Harry's addiction. And both of them would have to get real jobs and actually learn how reality works.
We're going to work, Harry, because HGTV canceled our show and we need money. So now I'm going to my class and you're...
Yes, going to my new job, and you can't get work acting, so now you're teaching it, which kind of makes sense and kind of doesn't.
The fact is, the public sees right through the pair's daily antics. Take Meghan, for example. After returning from her Mirage Majesty tour, a weekend spent trying to convince a country that she's royal, she wanted the fantasy to continue. So in order to do that, she forced others to carry her own bags. Now compare that to Princess Anne. Even at 73 years old, she is not only the hardest working royal on the planet, but she doesn't put on any air. She doesn't display any ego, and she is humble as apple pie and always does the heavy lifting herself.
As Her Royal Highness Princess Anne the Princess Royal is arriving at Hillsborough Castle and refuses any help to carry her back.
That's the difference between a salt-of-the-earth human being who serves others and someone who just is in it to serve themselves. But still, the big question is, why did the governor end up white knighting for the House of Montecito? Was it just another typical Hollywood backroom deal? Or did the governor actually believe he was getting in on the ground floor of Meghan's political future?
Some commentators are even speculating that Meghan fancies herself as a future American president. And to be fair, the campaign slogans, well, they write themselves. Make America hate again, build back bitter, or maybe just lock her up.
Whatever Newsom is planning, it's clear that he doesn't know who he's dealing with. Harry and Meghan couldn't bully Queen Elizabeth or the modern-day crown to get their way. The pair couldn't even buy fake love and phony Hollywood from a pack of frauds. I mean, so what did they do? They turned themselves into rent-a-celebrities in Nigeria. Just take a look at the recent events that they weren't invited to, whether it's the Oscars, Oprah's birthday party, the Met Gala event, or Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop celebration. And we're talking about, these are supposed to be their institutions that are their friends and supporters who wouldn't even give them a pity invite. And let me tell you, in Hollywood, that's worse than losing out on pity sex.
You know, here in the US, last week was a huge week. We had the Met Gala. Year after year, one very significant person is missing from that red carpet, and that would be Meghan Markle.
She wasn't invited.
Ted Sarandos, who cut those two a check for a reported $100 million, has since canceled their docuseries, has given Meghan a dubious cooking show. They're on the guest list at Gwyneth Paltrow's Montecito estate, and Meghan Markle is not there.
Tinseltown knows the true score. The for-profit philanthropists are radioactive on the global stage. They do real damage to every country they've ever called home. The Hill article explains how the Meghans are being manipulated, how they're being played as Muppets by world powers. You got Beijing and Moscow wanting to expand their presence in Africa and simultaneously shatter the Commonwealth nations into a million pieces to separate from the crown, all to do damage to the U.S. and the United Kingdom. That's why you suddenly get the royal rejects being portrayed in the media as royal rebels, people who are fighting the good fight to heal the planet and save people all on their own.
So as the senior members of the royal family here are stricken by very serious illness, the very, very last thing they want is to have these two coming in from California and effectively supplanting them on these unofficial royal tours, soaking up all the attention that should be on the actual people who put the shifts in for duty in this country, not the renegades filling their pockets.
The key takeaway is that the couple not once mentioned the monarchy, nor offered a kind word of support to King Charles or Princess Catherine, who are both battling cancer. And that is intentional. It's part of the Meghan strategy to set themselves apart. See, because they want the average person who doesn't pay attention to the daily news, who doesn't know the ins and outs of every backstory in the royal family, to walk away with one thought. Hey, Harry and Meghan were here for the people. Where was the crown? That is propaganda warfare. See, the Meghans want to mind out in order to mint division, but it's not going to work because the truth will always out.
The fact that the national anthem was played whilst they were there, I mean, that was done. That was a masterstroke. That was hilarious.
I find it incredibly disrespectful to the British people that anyone praise or celebrate their efforts in Nigeria.
Now that the real analysis is starting to come in, it's painting a completely different picture. We already knew that the California cosplayers had a fully packed schedule over the weekend. Again, they had the stage parades, the self-deluded smiles, they watched polo, they even flew in their personal paparazzo to immortalize Harry in black and white the same way his mother was. Yet Nigerians didn't buy it for a moment. You know that Harry and Meghan not once talked about how they could actually help Nigeria with their real issues. You know, we're talking about war, hunger, poverty, tribal gangs, and child kidnapping. And you know, most of you, that that's near and dear to my heart since I was kidnapped as a child at the age of 7. But much more than that, the couple who tries to brand themselves as focusing the majority of the time on women's issues didn't talk or say a single word about the horrors women suffer in the nation that is the #1 country in the world for FGM. On top of that, the couple were absolutely stum when it came to Africa Parks. Instead, you had Harry playing the fool, cataloging all their presents, the gifts that real royals can't actually keep, while Meghan, she pretended to be a feminist who was co-hosting a panel for women's leadership simply to praise herself. But pay attention to the key word in her speech, mostly, because mostly gives her ego game away completely.
Oh, we weren't surprised when we found out when you were Nigerian. Oh, no. And I say that mostly as a compliment to all of you, because what they define as a Nigerian woman is brave, resilient, courageous, powerful, beautiful.
I'm betting that in Meghan's mind, the trip was a bona fide success. She no longer has to look in the mirror to see someone calling her princess. Those days are over. Now she has a title which can give an official air to all her word salad statements.
And I know sometimes people say, how many times do we need to rebuild? Well, you know what? We are going to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild until it is rebuilt.
Meghan can start promoting herself as Princess Aramazi Omu Avarochukwu. So congratulations to she who must be obeyed. The ginger handbag finally came through. He completed his mission to make her a Nigerian princess. I guess now that means the couple can give up their British royal titles and start a new business, sending emails out asking for money so they could refurbish their 16 bathrooms in their Montecito mansion. After all, every royal needs a proper throne. The good news is the public is catching on quicker than the couple can rebrand themselves.
The Nigerians aren't stupid. They're highly intelligent people, and they are a nation that respect family. It's also part of the Commonwealth, and they respect the king. And whilst the Sussexes' visit may look like a glossy masterstroke, the elephant in the room is this. If these two, and in particular Meghan, are so full of love and care so much, how on earth can they continue to clearly despise the people who gave them life, their families? Nobody's buying it.
Outside of the make-believe world of the media, the universe has handed the Meghans another reality check, especially the husband formerly known as Prince. First, you had Spare, which lost every single category of the 2024 British Book Awards, and that is after having won 2023's most discarded book of the year. And following that, you had King Charles checkmate his son when he officially handed over the role of Colonel-in-Chief of the Army Air Corps to the Crown Prince. That's Harry's older brother, who's now going to be leading the same regiment that Harry served in that he always wanted to command.
So all I can say is that having had the pleasure of knowing you for so long, I do hope you'll go from strength to strength in the future with the Prince of Wales as your new Colonel-in-Chief. The great thing is he's a very good pilot indeed. So that's encouraging.
One thing is certain, it is always good to be the king. Now, if you enjoyed that video and found value in it, hit subscribe, smash the like button, share your thoughts in the comments down below in this video with everyone you know. And to win every battle and stay true to yourself, all you have to remember is, we never bow down, we never bend the knee. Always forward.
Hi, Harry. I'm Robert. I'm a screenwriter. And I'm also the shift manager here, and I'll be training you today.
I'm very excited.